I suppose you're here for a kind of a mystery tour. You know very little about me, which is okay. But I suppose, welcome to my world of leather. I think it's a different form of decoration, and it's ridiculously easy. That's why nobody or very few people have ever tried it. It goes under the ridiculous heading of Lacunose, an artistic invention. I didn't give it that name. I'd been working on this sandpapering and leather collaging on books for some years, and a customer had very kindly given me a book. It was called Hannibal, and it was perfect for what I regard as Lacunose technique, which I shall explain in a moment. It's where I knitted the leathers together and overlapped them and sandpapered them in water PVA and sandpapered them in water PVA and added more leather on. He said to me, if I'm to write a story, an article about this, I can't keep going on calling it sandpapering and water PVAing. How many times have you done it on this book? About 20 times. So he cuddled the whole thing up together and he used the word Lacunose, and I thought, it sounds okay to me. If you look in the dictionary, which you can do, you'll find out what it exactly means. The nearest I can say is at this edge of a cliff. It kind of breaks and it's kind of crumbly and that sort of thing. It kind of means pitted. And I suppose in some ways the effect of what I do can be pitted and so on. I always remember that book because you can do almost everything with it in terms of design. And I made quite a large high.
A little louder, please.
I will try. I do tend to mumble a little, but I'll try and talk loud, and I've got a bit of a cough as well. But shout to me every time I go down a little. Can you hear me at the back?
I can't hear you here.
Well, why don't you go at the back? I can't speak up, but I'll try. But anyway, I made some small elephants at the foot of the book, and all of a sudden it made it very large. The canvas made it so small elephants on a large canvas, and it worked quite beautifully on Hannibal. Good morning, Dominic. Have you got some coffee? He stayed out late last night. Now I thought what we would do, I'll tell you a little about myself, I'll try and speak up, and then we'll have some slides. You're very kindly going to do the slide thing for me. And your name is?
Heidi.
Heidi. Thank you, Heidi. So we'll look at each other every so often. And I had a formal apprenticeship. That means I served in a bindery and not in an art college. They don't any longer exist, my type of apprenticeship. I served 5 or 6 years at University College. They were very kind to me, they were very gentle, they didn't need to make a profit out of me, but they wanted me to be the best bookbinder they possibly could make me. And they were very pleased with the results, I hope. Because they thought I was the boy wonder, in 1966 I was taken to Florence, and I helped out with the floods, and the damaged books in Italy. I don't remember very much of that, except to say I had some good wine and good food. I learned elegance, I learned to speak up, and I enjoyed the 2 months. I don't think the books were affected very badly, or I don't think I damaged them any further. But it was a wonderful experience. And I came back to the UK to finish my apprenticeship off. In 1971, in spite of all my friends telling me of the security that you get from a job and a pension, I waved goodbye to University College and decided to become a bookbinder on my own account. I remember I had few people I could rely on, but when you're young you don't think of that. And then I realized I could bind anywhere in the land. And why should I live in industrial England? I lived in Bedfordshire at the time, where they made motor cars. And so I moved to Wales, and that was a very good move for me. At the first time I could raise my family, not worry about traffic and yellow lines. We could be gentle with each other. They could be safe in a Welsh community living. And I was very happy. And then I moved around a bit. We came to Cheshire, and I was there for 10 years or so, binding on my own account, meeting customers along the way. And I decided then to return to Wales, really, which is what I'm happiest at. I love the mountains and the scenery. I don't know, to look out on man-made buildings and the modern world. I just like to go out and hear the sheep. And it was wonderful. But University College days, they introduced me to so much. And the enduring thing that I leave from my college days, my apprenticeship days, is classical music. I miss that terribly since I've been here. Normally I would have Shostakovich or somebody waffling in from the door there. But never mind, it's a unique experience to be here, and I'm delighted to do so. Now, with Heidi's help, and with lights off, and with the ice cream girl, I would like just to talk a little. I want you to know what I'm all about. Thank you, Mr. President.
Just wait till you see
Now, can I move around?
Yes.
Thank you. See that chair there? Could you bring that up a little, please? I can see the flicks easier then. Thank you. At University College, in my apprenticeship years, we had one way and one way only of designing a book, and that would be onlay or inlay or gold work. And I always felt that the books looked slightly childish. The painting by numbers, beautifully though it might be. And when I came to binding this, which is a book of poems, quite small, I decided the poplar trees could be scrunched up. Scrunched? Gathered up the leather?
Scrunched.
Yeah, that's good enough. So for the first time, behind Sir's back, I was doing something that they hadn't taught me. That's leather onlaid. All of that is onlaid onto the blue. It's a book of Dylan Thomas called Under the Mustard Seed Sun, and I would have bound that maybe in the 70s. Heidi. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my box of paints. What do we do with our scraps? We had them so long, we normally throw them away. I kept all of mine. The hand is my own, the foot is that of my son. But what do we do with our little scraps? We make labels, but that only goes so far. I've got buckets full of it, all coloured paint. I've collected leather since 1959.